Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be evolving some variants to diamonds. And I usually do this a lot, but in the last video I tried to do something a bit different where I kind of explain my choices on why I evolved these to diamonds. And I think that's more well received than normally, so I'm just going to do the same thing, but I'm going to speak instead of writing text because it's just much easier, and I think I can communicate things better when I speak than, just by text alone. So there's one thing I want to make clear of, which is the reason why I make these diamond evolution videos. It's not really to flex my collection or whatnot. I'm making this because as a free-to-play player, where I haven't spent a single dime on this game, I've collected quite a number of diamonds, so it is possible for you to get a lot of diamonds without having to pay money in the game, but it does take a lot of effort and patience and grinding, but it is possible. And it's not that I don't want to spend any money in this game. I do try to support the developers of this game, and this YouTube channel is one way I do it. I just don't want to do it through monetary ways. But that's just me. Anyway, let's just start evolving some variants. So first up is Fire Element, and I am evolving Oh my! And the only reason I'm evolving her is because I'm running out of firefighters to evolve. Oh my is definitely not a high priority fighter, it's definitely a low priority. There's many better Valentines out there that you want to invest first. All the gold Valentines, for example. And of course the natural diamond Valentines are top tier as well. Assassin's Creed and Trash Chick, if you ever pull those, invest in those because they are good. And yeah, Oh my is mostly an offensive variant. Can gain enrage and position, which is okay, but then she's a silver, so her silver stats kind of hinder her in that regard. And then her second skill is more like a support ability, but she only gives enrage to her teammates when one of your teammates die, which is, you don't want that to happen. I do wish she gets a buff so that she can give enrage when she kills an opponent or when her teammates kill an opponent, so kind of like Graveyard Shift, but instead of regen you get enrage instead. And I think that will give her quite a useful niche, since there's quite a number of fire element fighters like Risky Ginger and Heatsink that activates their ability depending on the number of enrage stacks they have, so that could be a useful niche that she could, be useful for. Alright, next up is Water Element, and I am evolving Lapis Luxury. And to be honest, I do not have a good reason on evolving her. I just did it for the palette, honestly. And Lapis Luxury is in a weird spot because I feel like she's too niche, but at the same time she could be useful, I guess. I mean, the only way to use her is to like purposely kill yourself until Lapis has like 1 health, and then use a BB3 to switch your health with the opponent and then kill them using your BB3. But that only works once per match, and I don't know. That could be useful in the future, maybe. I'm just keeping her for now as a trophy. Okay, next up is Air Element, and we are evolving G.I. Jazz. Now, G.I. Jazz I feel like is okay. He's a decent single node defender because of his skill. You don't want to put him in a double or triple node because people can just outtake him and he's done. So I think he could be more useful though. I feel like his first and second signature ability should be combined into one signature ability, and then he could get a different second signature ability, kind of what they did to Weekend Warrior. And I think that could make him more useful. He's just a bit outdated, I think, and I think he definitely deserves a buff in the future. Alright, next up is Light Element, and this is a bit more serious this time. I'm evolving Phantom Threads. Phantom Threads is easily one of the best offensive Fuquas you can ever have, and that's exactly the reason why I'm evolving her. She's a top priority for Fuqua players out there. I personally evolved Vixen first because she's much easier to use, and because, well, Vixen is pretty brain dead to use actually, while Phantom Threads may require a bit more knowledge on how to play Fuqua, which I haven't gotten around yet, but I should in the future. But she's definitely a top pick, and buff removal is always a great ability, and she has blessings and enrage to couple with that, so pretty insane skill, definitely highly recommended. Finally, we reached the last element, which is dark, and I'm sorry, but we're going back to the meme because I am evolving Terabyte. And the reason why I'm evolving Terabyte is because she has a pretty cool palette. Have you seen all the Diamond Robo Fortunes? They all have pretty cool palettes, and if you have a collection of Diamond Robo Fortunes, they look like freaking Power Rangers, which is really cool. But on a serious note though, Terabyte is kinda odd. She seems to be more defensive than offensive, and she has inverse polarity, which is quite a unique powerful debuff, but requiring head drone hits is a bit awkward. I don't know, I feel like she's a bit hard to use, more so than the other Robo Fortunes, and that's why most people don't evolve her at all. And I think she's still a big mystery. Alright, we've reached the end. Here's a recap on the variants that evolved, and I've realized that most of them are low priority, and that's because most of the high priority ones have already evolved. Phantom Thread is a high priority though, so evolve her as soon as you can if you want. She's really good. I think Jazz is probably the second fighter I would have evolved out of this 5. But then again, Jazz is still not really a high priority. It's more like low to mid, just because of how easy it is to like stop him in his tracks. But anyway, that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.